Hello. You are listening to Unheard Pleasures. I'm your host, Connor O. As a fair warning, my goal with this show is to find some very abrasive sounding punk music, industrial music, and experimental rock music. Those are the primary genres that I am featuring here. However, I also want to show you some softer songs that explore music in a similar yet different way. These songs can also portray anger. They can portray lots of passion as well. And I believe, even though I am primarily catering towards people in the hardcore scene, people in the metal scene, and people in the general rock sphere, I want to challenge you to listen to some laid-back, chill folk vibes to sort of break up the rage against the machine that we are also expressing, for the most part, in this show. Speaking of something on more of the chill side of indie rock, our first song is by a little band called Icarus Phoenix. It is reminiscent of the heart-wrenching, nostalgic passion of bands like Bright Eyes, with the varying experimental textures of bands like Grandaddy. It is titled, I Told Her to Hold On Tight, I'm Coming to Heat the Rain, by Icarus Phoenix.
When laughter bleeds and calls behind countless closed doors, and you don't see your love is yourself in the mirror. That seeping gray, that faithful face, but silent fade. Crushing abyss, that quiet fist, selective ears. How do you communicate with someone who only hears just the things they want? How do you communicate with someone who only hears just the things they want? What is done is done. Gone. What is gone is gone and done. What is done is done and gone. What is gone is gone and done. Inside a storm, it's hard to know the sun will shine again. But he said, hold on tight, I'm on my way to heat the rain. I know you get whatever you want, but silent resentment is sabotage.
That is from the brand new album, I Should Have Known the Things You Never Said. That is probably the most relatable album title I've heard in a while. We are constantly trying to communicate with each other, and even with that effort of communication, we constantly assume the other person should know why we're upset, or why we're happy, or why we're longing for something different. However, we just can't really read each other's minds, and so I really appreciate an album title that encapsulates that very relatable human experience. You can purchase a CD of this album on telostapes.bandcamp.com for just $5. That is an insane steal. This is also a deluxe album with 30 plus songs. So please visit Telos Tapes, that's TELOS tapes.bandcamp.com. Now, if you happened to be there for my first episode last week, you may have experienced a lot of French music. And I know you're not surprised. We have another French band on the set list. So the band, I'm just going to spell it out for you before I butcher the pronunciation. It is Prisserapide, and the pronunciation is Pis Rapide. That's my best take on the French there. It translates to quick take, which I can only assume means this band is busy in real life, but they love playing music together. And so they're going to take the little time that they can to do some quick takes of songs and get it done, get it out there so that people can listen, even if they don't understand the language. Because in 2025, it's very easy to translate things if you want the lyrics translated. Please listen to foreign music. And that is part of what I want to do with this. I want to give foreign music a spotlight because there's so much beyond Bjork out there, man. Like you just gotta keep looking or listen to this radio station, Unheard Pleasures, so you can hear more beautiful foreign songs. So Prisserapide has a wonderful song for you called Où je vais, and that translates to Where Am I Going? Yet another very relatable title. I don't know where I'm going. All I know is I'm about to listen to this song, Où je vais by Prisserapide.
C'est pas le scénar
This song makes me want to be in the French Revolution, lighting baguettes on fire, throwing them at those fascist oligarchs. That's what this song makes me want to do. Maybe I will. Maybe I will build the first time machine. That's how much I like this song. Music can inspire a lot of things. Apparently, little did you know, maybe, surgeons actually listen to music while they're performing surgery, which kind of surprises me. I actually found this video on YouTube of this electronic music producer who got to perform a live set during a surgery operation, which is insane. But, you know, music makes you happy. Music can help you be focused. I am kind of laughing at the thought of surgeons doing like open heart surgery. It's a really intense thing, and they just have like lo-fi girl, calm, steady, focus music going on in the background. I know this probably won't happen, but I do think it would be amazing if there were surgeons who were really into hardcore or metal and they paid some intense band to play a set while they performed gallbladder surgery or something, like a Cannibal Corpse type vibe, just something abrasive and intense. And then that's the music video, just the band ripping an intense set, ear bleeding, everyone in the room. It's a small room. Surgery is a small room, so it's going to be very loud. It's probably going to traumatize the patient while they're being operated on. But how metal would that be? How metal would it be to play an insane set of music while someone's organs are being mixed around? Speaking of which, we have a very intense song coming up. Fair warning, dear viewer. However, this is what I like to call, or I guess it's called, a song suite. This is 3 phases, expertly composed, a very underrated hardcore song that not enough people know about, that starts angry, gets angrier, and then opens up into something so beautiful and inspiring that feels like I'm a rain-soaked Viking coming back from war, and there's these beautiful clouds in the distance. The sun has finally appeared in the horizon, and I just am in that moment thanking the fact that I'm still alive. That's where the song will take you. So get through those first 2 parts. It's intense. It's abrasive. However, it's worth it. This is Geronimo Stilton. That is GeronimoStilton with the song, Man, I Hate This Screamo Shit. Can you even understand what they're saying?
Primordial disease, misguided by ourselves. We don't know peace. We bring each other in. It's what we think is best. We don't know what we're doing. It's insidious. The higher up you go, the more intense it gets. The chief commanders are victims of their own spiritual conflicts. They hide and lose, they play afflicted. They sing a perfect life, still spreading the sickness. It's the background noise that sometimes I just can't ignore. It keeps me up while living like the sound of war.
Resting unawake.
I'm screaming, my eyes can't be bright open. That's it. Terrified. That was when they were dying. When the perfect
anxiety and depression, to some degree, is influenced by my surroundings. There are valid reasons that we feel uneasy in this world that we're creating. When we live in a world where our reality is that we're being watched, we're being listened to, we're being tracked, is it really so weird to feel anxious all the time?
I know I'm sick, and so are you. Ignorance is not accepted. Betray our spirits in a multitude of ways. That permeates our being. Let's spread it till there's nothing left.
What a banger. What an absolute banger. That was Geronimo Stilton on the album Futility with Man, I Hate This Screamo Shit. That is the name of the song. I don't hate this Screamo shit. This is a wonderful track. There's a lot going on here. There's so much dynamics. There's so much musical talent. And you wouldn't originally think that if you visit their Bandcamp page. They have it set up very modestly as if their whole band was some kind of joke or meme. The album cover of this album has this low poly wolf and this like stretched picture of a man. It's the most disturbing thing you'll ever see in its own way. And yet it is kind of a masterpiece in my opinion. There's elements of black metal. There's obviously emo. There's obviously There's a little bit of hardcore there. Even some of the lyrics definitely have a bit of a punk ethos to them. That last line, "cut me out of this digital skin," is a very simple yet effective expression of confusion and rage in the digital age, in how it's constantly evolving, constantly changing. We're having bands entirely made up of AI algorithms and prompts. And, these guys are real musicians. These guys are finding a way to express that anxiety in a very angry and strangely beautiful way. So please, check out geronimostilton.bandcamp.com and pick up a copy of Futility. It is a record that will give you nightmares and also make you feel a lot less alone in this cold and dangerous world. This next track, oh my gosh, I think these guys are the next big thing. This is just my prediction. This is just my perspective. I think Pitchfork needs to review this album. This song sounds like something you'd hear on Rough Trade back in the day. This song sounds like Joy Division's estranged cousin. This band is called The Lost, and this song is called My Ego. All right, if you guys don't put this on your goth throwback Halloween party playlist, I'm going to be real upset. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to be real upset. As much as I love Depeche Mode and the Misfits and even the Monster Mash, these guys are creepy. They're ghouly. They've got a lot of dynamics. I love the chorus on this track. Very catchy, but also dark. I haven't heard something this cold in a while. Sometimes you just need a little bit of cold in your life, and it is about to get a whole lot colder. However, you will have this next track be able to warm you up, make you feel that much better, make you feel less alone. This is a sad song. It's a happy song. It's a melancholy song, and more importantly, it's a math rock song. This is Sleep Like with the song Yes, Yes. This is, again, the band Sleep Like with Yes Yes on their brand new album EP, Thank You. This EP in particular just feels like an album, even though it's a bit short. It doesn't have the exact amount of time that an album would have. It feels full. It feels complete. It melts my heart. It makes me angry. It does everything a good Midwest emo song should do. I always forget that they scream on that song. It always jump scares me a little bit. Not in a bad way, by any means. I love getting screamed at when it's in the context of emotional expression. This is a beautiful example of how screaming can be very meditative, not only for yourself to do in the context of music, but also just to listen to. This, if you can't scream or you don't know how to scream, or that's not really your thing, you can kind of picture yourself in the seat of the singer, just wailing out all of these complex emotions. And that's honestly why I love songs like this. I do have the question, for the good of the order, especially as we are reaching spooky season. I do have to ask, have you ever been jump scared by a song? There have been a couple times for me with Nine Inch Nails' Downward Spiral. I think there is a point where it gets very, very quiet and then very, very loud very quickly. And that always kind of spooks me. It's not the same as movies where you see a monster or the tension's building and something pops out. But music can have that power. And I was surprised to see that this is a two-piece. This is Jet and Justin jamming out. Jet on the drums, Justin on the guitar. And it sounds so full and complex and layered that it sounds like there's several musicians in the room, but it's just these two bros getting in touch with their emotions in a really beautiful and productive way. So please head over to sleeplikex.bandcamp.com. That is sleeplikex.bandcamp.com, and pick up this album for just $1. Now, speaking of spooky season, we have a terrifying song coming up for you next. I don't know about terrifying. The album cover is very spooky looking. It is a ghost walking in a desolate plain. This is Nihilore. That is Nihilore with the song The Watchmaker's 4. That was Nihilor with The Watchmakers 4. This is a royalty-free song with a CC BY license. Nihilor has been doing a lot of great charity work, making royalty-free songs for a long time now. This is a project started back in 2009. Wow, this is over a decade's worth of free, royalty-free songs you can use for any of your projects. They even say on their website, nihilor.com, that this is all made lovingly by human hands, no AI used, unlike Kevin MacLeod. Now, I used to use a lot of Kevin MacLeod songs, but I didn't even know he was using AI. I haven't looked into it any further, but that's a good enough reason to switch to Nihilor. And in my opinion, Nihilor makes much better music, so maybe not your thing, but I do think Nihilor has got a lot more going on than Kevin. Sorry, Kevin. Please stop using AI. And remember to credit Nihilor whenever you use their songs. Coming up next, we have a returning musical guest on this show. This guy has done lots of different genres in his musical career. He, at one point, did the soundtrack to the game Pizza Time back in the day. And he has a really cool, both real name and stage name. This is Thomas Torres. This is Post Elvis with I Really Hate Summer. That was I Hate Summer from Post Elvis. I do find that somewhat relatable. I do have to say, as we're creeping into the fall spooky season, it is making me realize how annoying the summer can be. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and yes, having nice weather is all well and good, though it gets draining a bit. You're sweaty, you're tired, you don't really want to do anything, but the fall and winter, they kind of, the pain of the outside cold just kind of makes you want to go inside, dig into a good book, write songs like this, look out the window as you're watching the snowfall. It can be a really good time. And we are going to let the good times roll, but we are going to let them roll in French because we have another returning guest from this very episode. This is Paris Rapide with their other song called A Fond. That is A with an accent and then Fond. That was Paris Rapide with their song A Fond. And I'm going to spell out their band name because I probably butchered the pronunciation. You probably have no idea how to look this up. So it's Prise space Rapide. There's a lot going on with this track. There's some math in there. There's some prog, some post-rock. This group of French musicians really know how to make me feel things. The last time something relatively French made me feel anything was in the movie Ratatouille. And I haven't felt anything really since the movie Ratatouille. That was the last time I felt any emotion. So this is the second time in however long it's been since Ratatouille came out. I'm not going to look that up because I am afraid to realize how fleeting this existence really is. And speaking of fleeting, we are towards the end of the show. This very well may be the last track, maybe the last song on the show. I'm sorry, I know. All good things must come to an end. Just like the summer has to end, the winter has to end. Life is a series of things that eventually come to a close. However, we're going to end on a great note because this next track is by Icarus Phoenix again. This is another great song, and this song is called Necessary. Man, I feel like I was beamed by an alien ship, dragged out of this existence, put into another dimension of artistic expression. What a great way to end this second episode of Unheard Pleasures. This has been a wonderful ride. We've been through many different types of genres. We've gone to the deepest depths of some black metal. We've rose again with some emo math rock. We've listened to it all, and there's many more to come. I'm going to keep finding music. I'm going to keep talking about it on the air. So if you like the show, if you like how I represent music, please reach out to Connor at Sonic Scout Radio so you can get your song on the show. We only feature unsigned artists to help give them a boost in views, get their name out there so people can find their Bandcamp page, stream them on Spotify, and more importantly, buy their records and go to their shows and be supportive of real music, because we're living in an age where there's lots of fake music out there made by algorithms and designed only to make money. But these guys and girls and theys and thems, these people want to make music to express human pain that we all experience. It not only heals them, it heals the people who listen to it. So thank you so much for listening to the show, and I really hope that you find a cozy blanket and a good pot of tea to get yourself through the fall as it approaches. And remember, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling down, and you're not a musician, please listen to music. And if you're feeling sad and you're feeling down and you are a musician, make some music. Or even if you're not a musician, maybe become one, if that sounds like a good time. Again, this has been Connor O on my show, Unheard Pleasures. Hope you had a good time and have a wonderful rest of your day.